everybody, it is Heather, and today I am doing my 20-week update for my pregnancy. In the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of things happen, pregnancy-wise, that I thought I would go ahead and share with you all. I have had my anatomy scan. I did not find out the gender of the baby, as I want this to be a gender surprise. With my last two children, I did not do gender surprise. I found out what they were at their ultrasounds, so this is very exciting for me. I have, let's start it this way. I have gained 1 pound. When I started this pregnancy, I weighed more than I would have liked to weigh at the end of this pregnancy, because I had a thyroid issue that wasn't being medicated, so I couldn't lose weight. Now that I am pregnant, I am on medication for thyroidism. I haven't gained any weight. I lost 2 pounds in the first trimester due to food aversions, not to nausea. Not to nausea or anything like that, just because I wasn't hungry. So I've gained 1 of those pounds back. So technically I am still 1 under what I started my pregnancy at. So let's see, I have my anatomy scan at 18 weeks. My baby looks great. Baby has all of her parts, or all of his parts. I say her a lot only because I don't know what the baby is. I don't specifically have a feeling if it's a girl or a boy. I think I'm leaning more towards it's a girl based on the pregnancy this time versus my last 2 pregnancies. My baby at 18 weeks exactly, my baby measured 18 weeks and 3 days, so she's measuring 3 days ahead, and it weighed 8 ounces on 18 weeks. It is 2 weeks later, it is 20 weeks and 1 day today, so baby's bigger. I'm not exactly sure how big baby is right now. According to the app that I use, baby is the size of a banana, but I don't think my baby is this skinny, so I'm guessing it means in length. It's the length of a banana. I do have another ultrasound scheduled for tomorrow because of some issues with my placenta. I will get into that in a minute. Let's see, I have not had any real cravings this pregnancy yet. I went through a stage where I ate pickles every day, but pickles have always been my favorite food. It's nothing new. I'm going through right now where I eat grapes every single day. I have eaten grapes for about 2 months. I've eaten grapes every day, and I only like the red grapes. I don't like green grapes. I have been craving turkey subs, I guess, maybe, because I've been wanting to eat turkey and Swiss on white bread with mayonnaise and pickles. That's all I've wanted that I don't eat usually. So there's no real cravings. Symptoms wise, I'm feeling the baby move now. Small movements, nothing big. My placenta I have anterior placenta as well as some other problems. So the baby's movements are not as exciting, and I don't feel them as much because of where my placenta is. The baby's behind the placenta in a sense, so I don't feel the jabs as well as I have with my other 2 pregnancies. I still have massive congestion. I have been congested since the day I got pregnant. It's very strange. I have to sleep with my mouth open, so I'm always wearing chapstick, because if I don't wear chapstick, my lips crack because of how hot it is where I live and the fact that I have to sleep with my mouth open. That's the most annoying part of this pregnancy so far, has been the fact that I cannot breathe. My doctor did tell me that I could take Claritin with Claritin D, but that keeps me up at night if I don't take it in the mornings, and I don't remember half the time in the mornings because I'm already taking thyroid medicine in the mornings. So, and I don't like to take anything when I take the thyroid medicine to give my body time to absorb it. So I take the Claritin when I remember it. I take it on really, really bad days. So far, there haven't been any good days with my breathing, but I do take it on the bad days. And I take a half dose because I don't want to take a whole pill, because there's no way I'd be able to sleep if I did. Let's see. I did get some ultrasound photos of the baby. This is the little baby's side profile. Its little tummy and its little face and head. So precious. Here's another profile shot. And here is baby feet. So all the pictures that they gave me at my anatomy scan, I was a little disappointed in that because I was at a level 2, excuse me, a level 2 ultrasound because of some concerns that my OB had with me. If you may not know, my last pregnancy I had complete placenta previa, which is where, let's say this is your uterus, your placenta is like that and it blocks your cervix. I have it shown like my cervix is huge. It blocks your cervix so the baby has no way to get out. Like this would be the baby's head trying to get out. So the placenta would be here. This pregnancy, my doctor was concerned that I was going to have it again because I had it with the last pregnancy. And if you've had it once, the likelihood of having it again is higher. And lo and behold, I do have complete placenta previa again. I find it strange that I have both an anterior placenta, which means the placenta is in the front of your stomach, so your baby, you don't feel the jabs or anything from the baby. I also have a complete placenta previa, which I guess because my uterus is tilted, I guess that's logical, it could happen. I also have another diagnosis. I have placenta accreta. Placenta accreta usually happens if you've had a cesarean section before, if you have complete placenta previa, or if you've had any other type of surgery that cuts into your uterus. Unfortunately, I have all three of those scenarios. I had a C-section with my son because of placenta previa. I have complete placenta previa again, and I also had to have a uterine fibroid removed after my son was born. 6 months after he was born, so I've had all three. I have the trifecta. I have placenta accreta. Placenta accreta is a crappy diagnosis for anybody to get. When you hear the word hysterectomy and preterm baby or premature baby, you tend to get freaked out. With my son, I had my baby at 34 weeks via an emergency C-section because I had a major bleed and they couldn't figure out how to stop it. This pregnancy, I have not had any bleeds yet, but that's just a lucky fluke, I believe, at this point. Placenta accreta is where your placenta grows through the scar tissue in your uterus. That is from previous surgeries, like I said. Right now, my placenta is growing through the tissue and into my uterus lining, and they're concerned that the placenta is going to grow through it and into the surrounding organs. That can be deadly. There's no other way to put it. It can be deadly. I wasn't planning on being done having children. However, doctors say I'm done having children. I don't like to let other people make that decision for me. Like I say, this is my uterus, my body, my babies, my choice. They're saying that I will be having the baby via C-section between 34 and 35 weeks. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow with the MFM doctors and a whole bunch of other people to talk about the plan of action. At this point, the C-section is planned for 34 to 35 weeks at a children's hospital because they have like oncologists and the best blood bank in South Carolina, which is where I live, and they're prepared with multiple different types of doctors in case of worst case scenario. The plan, from what they told me at my last appointment, which was my 18-week anatomy scan, was that there would be a C-section with hysterectomy. And that scared me because I don't want to have a hysterectomy. I don't want anybody taking any of my body parts from me. They're mine. God gave them to me and I want to keep them. I wanted to have another baby. I wanted to have 4 kids. Now it looks like that's probably not going to happen, because even if I was able to retain my uterus by some stroke of godly miracle, I was told that if I were to get pregnant again, the likelihood of the Accreta and Procreta again is much higher. So I would be in the same scenario again later with another baby. They're gonna have my blood type already waiting for me in the OR because they're afraid of bleeding out. There's so many negatives with the Accreta. If the Accreta grows into my bladder, they will have to do bladder reconstructive surgery on top of the hysterectomy and the cesarean section all at the same time. I've heard people say they were in the hospital for 6, 7, 8, 9 days with this C-section, so I don't know what to look forward to. All I know is I just want a healthy baby. I want to go home with my baby when I leave the hospital, because I do not want to have another NICU baby. My son, who was born at 34 weeks because of an placenta previa, was in the NICU for 3 entire weeks, and it was the longest 3 weeks of my life. Sorry, there was a hair on me. It was the longest 3 weeks of my life because I spent 8 hours a day in the NICU with my son, and then I would go home and I would have to leave him every day, and it sucked so bad. I don't want that again. I didn't want that for this pregnancy. When they told me that I had the Accreta, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze, the first thing that came out my mouth literally was, I don't want another NICU baby. And then I bawled, I cried, the waterworks turned on, I could not turn them off. It was bad. And that's when the lady said, or the doctor said, well, we could do a 35-week C-section, and you know, that's as late as she acted like they would do. So we don't know. I'm hoping to know tomorrow exactly when they will do the C-section. I guess 20 weeks is early to be planning for something like that, but when you have to plan for potential week and a half in the hospital, and you have 2 kids already, you need to be able to make plans now. It's so much to wrap my head around. I did not expect placenta accreta. I was hoping for no previa. These words, they sound so stupid. Who comes up with these words? So at this rate, I am 20 weeks and 1 day pregnant. I weigh 1 pound less than I did when I started, but I've gained 1 pound in the past 3 weeks. My baby is measuring perfectly beautifully. I don't know the sex of the baby or the gender of the baby. I do have placenta previa and placenta accreta. I will know more if I have increta or procreta as my pregnancy progresses, and it gives the uterus and the placenta time to attach and grow. Fingers crossed, if I can do that still, fingers crossed that the placenta doesn't grow into anything else. It doesn't get any more feelers, and it doesn't grow any worse than it already has. And fingers crossed, on the other hand, that my baby is born at 34, 35 weeks, completely healthy, no breathing problems, and I get to have a perfect birth, because I did not have that with my last son. I will update you again when I know more about the condition and how bad it is. I do know that I will have multiple ultrasounds throughout the pregnancy to check the growth of the placenta, check the growth of the baby, and to make sure that everything is still okay. I will know more tomorrow, hopefully, as I do have another ultrasound planned and a follow-up consult with a few of the doctors that are taking on this case, because it is not a everyday occurrence that you get placenta previa and placenta accreta, even though they are on the rise because of the amount of C-sections that happen in America. So, if you don't have to have a C-section, don't have a C-section. I hope you enjoyed my video today, And I will see you in the next video, and I will have more information about the condition that I have. I'm gonna leave this with one more little snap at my little baby. Isn't it cute? Bye guys, see you next time.